Oh, damn.
Yeah. So we're recording and we're gonna go live in three, two, one. Okay, we're live. I'm gonna do my intro real quick. So,
Yeah.
hey everybody, we're back again for a little break. It's Thomas from the Booze and BJJ podcast. We're here with our new friend Frank, and I'm gonna put him on the spot a little bit. Frank, go ahead and tell our folks a little bit about yourself.
All right. What's up, everybody? My name is Frank Kerner. I'm a first degree black belt under Vitor Shaolin and the owner and head coach for Enforcers BJJ in Franklin, New Jersey. I'm excited to be on. This
Yeah,
is awesome. Booze and BJJ. It doesn't get better than this, right?
yeah. So, what are you drinking tonight, sir?
Right now, I got some Sailor Jerry's and Diet Coke,
Mhm.
and later I'm gonna hit up some tequila probably, and then I have a beer to top it off. Golden Carlis is a Belgian lager.
Oh man. Yeah, I was just telling Frank that I grew up in Germany, so beer's a little bit ruined for me. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, where we lived outside of Frankfurt, but we tasted all sorts of like really nice like local beer, and
yeah.
we came back to the US and all of a sudden it's Heineken and
No, no, no. You don't buy that cheap shit.
like I'm like
Get
what
some
is
Belgian lagers, man.
right? Like one of my buddies had a big birthday party and he's like, we're gonna do some beer tasting. I was like, ah, cool. It was like Heineken, Blue Moon, and like some other stuff.
No, that's torture.
Yeah.
That's not beer tasting.
Yeah. I was like, dude, if you really want some beer tasting, ask some of my family in Germany, like send us something. Although I don't know
Yeah.
if they could do that. But either
Don't
way.
tell anyone. Shh.
Yeah. Shh. Yeah. So as far as training, how's your training gone this week?
Not that good, man. I had a cold, so I didn't want to get everyone sick. I don't even know if it's cold or allergies, but my nose is running, so
Right.
they got like one good day in.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one
I
of the
I usually my main training days are usually Tuesday and Thursday. We do gi with our head coach, Sugi. But
oh yeah, badass Mongolian guy.
yeah, I couldn't do it Tuesday. I had a long day at work
Oh
and
yeah,
you know, I was thinking everyone's training for, pans. If I walk in there and I'm not with it, I'm gonna get torched.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So,
yeah, yeah.
but what
Sometimes torture teaching too, teaching and not being able to roll.
oh,
Like, dude, I tore my ACL and MCL,
mhm.
and just being there every day, not being able to roll, oh, it's like torture,
No, well, I understand because, I told you I had a health incident back in December.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I actually had a mild heart attack.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and actually happened on Christmas, middle of the day, and actually waited a little bit, felt fine, went home, went to sleep, woke up around 3 because the pain in my chest came back. Made
Yeah.
the stupid decision to drive myself to the hospital about 20 minutes away.
Oh
And I
damn.
get in the ER, like, you're having a heart attack. What are you doing?
What did it feel like?
Um, it felt like the closest thing I could say is if they put their knee on your sternum, like
Yeah.
a knee on belly,
Really?
and
Yeah.
just drove their knee all the way to the ground.
Oh
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, and they said that was a mild one. So I don't want to I don't want to know what a full blown one feels like.
Yeah, death. Right.
Yeah,
It's like, done.
right. But
Oh
yeah, I couldn't roll for like 3 weeks.
damn. Yeah. They had to keep checking you and everything.
Yeah. And then when I got the clearance to do physical activity again, I was just, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Went back 100, right?
No, no, no,
No,
not
European.
quite, but about 80%.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They couldn't find what caused it, so I just wanted to take it easy.
Yeah. Yeah. How you feel now? You good?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. There was a one little spot in my chest that felt like a pulled muscle when I was rolling, when I was trying to get back into it. That feeling's gone now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. You probably get paranoid for everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the cool thing is like a lot of the guys in my I teach a Friday night no gi class. A lot of
Awesome.
those guys are wrestlers and 20 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I don't want to risk anything. You guys go hard and fast. I'll just watch. But
Yeah.
yeah,
When you get older, you got to realize that you're not young anymore and you can't hang like you did before. Your body doesn't react the same. You
right,
see stuff coming and you just can't pull the trigger. Like I have a couple studs there, and then we have one guy from Ukraine. He was a sambo champ,
right.
and he's older, but he's just different level. Like you go with him and you get tossed. It's guaranteed. I don't
Oh
care how
yeah.
good you are. He's throwing you, and dude, it hurts now when I fall. He foot swept me the other day. Charlie Brown me, and when I landed, dude, my neck was hurting for like a week. You
Oh
know,
man. Yeah.
we're we don't warm up right. We help class, we warm up with them. We're not
Mhm.
rolling, and then we're like jump in cold, and then
Yeah.
worst decision ever.
Yeah. I'll be
You know,
44 in May. And I don't think I ever mentioned that to specifically to the guys that I teach.
yeah,
So, Friday I said something like, "Oh man, I'm glad somebody my age can keep up with you all." And one of my buddies was like, one of the guys who takes the class was like, "How old are you?" I was like, "I'll be 44 in May."
yeah,
And they're like,
yeah. You look.
yeah.
I got white. This is from wife and kids right here.
Oh, you know
I'll be
what?
48. Yeah,
I just shaved my beard off, and it
yeah,
wasn't quite as white as yours, but
yeah. Just getting there.
it was getting there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, kids.
yeah, 3.
Oh shit. Yeah, you'll be there soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, my kids are. Uh, my youngest is about to be 16, and my oldest is 17.
Oh
And
man.
oh yeah, they're good though. Thank God. I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about boys and everything, but just in general, kids are rough.
Yeah, my niece just turned 16 and she's already asking, "Hey, can my friend come over?" I'm like,
Oh
"Friend?"
no, yeah, yeah,
It's like define friend.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So,
You get some free private with that dude, right?
yeah, well, my nephew started taking my class recently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so when I'm at they live with my parents, and when I'm over there, they're like, "Hey," or he tells his sister, my nephew tells my niece, "Hey, if that guy comes back, I'll just have Uncle Thomas handle him."
Damn
Like,
right.
well, yes, yes, but I don't want to. Like, I don't want to beat up a teenager.
Oh, sometimes you got to, man.
Yeah,
Not touch your daughter.
yeah. Oh, but speaking of Sambo, we currently had not currently, it was maybe back in February. We had a guy from Romania show up, earned black belt in judo, but also after the fact, we looked into him a little bit. Apparently, he had a really good Sambo record.
Nice.
And he was a really good guy to train with. He went really hard though. Like,
Oh,
um,
they don't play.
they do
Yeah.
not play. I have a judo background as well, so I was thinking, let me try some stand up with him. Let's see how I stack up.
Yeah.
And then the moment that I got on my feet and looked at him, I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, yeah, we're starting on the ground. Like,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
pass. But
Dude.
go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. When everybody gives shit about butt scooting, I'm like, what are you gonna do? Get tossed around? Like, no, you gotta go where you got the advantage. It's a fight.
Right.
You know, if a wrestler is going against a striker, like just say you're going against Izzy, it could be like, oh, let's test our feet in a fight. No, take that fight to the ground right away. So
Right away.
why is it different for jujitsu? I never understand that.
Yeah. At first I was anti-butt scooting,
Yeah,
but I really thought about it and I was like, well, you avoid getting thrown,
yeah,
and a lot of people, or taken down, a lot of people don't really, in judo, we practice break falls, like there were break fall
yeah,
drills. And in jujitsu,
yeah.
we don't really do that. So the risk is you face somebody who's like a high level judoka and he throws you hard. And if you don't practice break falling, you might hurt yourself,
Oh yeah,
you know. Um,
yeah.
Go ahead.
smack
Sorry.
your knees together and ankles and
Yeah.
hurt your
Eh,
hip and everything.
Yeah, and one thing I saw on this past Friday, a lot when we're doing just takedown drills, a lot of our guys are posting their hands
Dude, yeah, break
on
your
the mat.
shoulder.
You'll break your shoulder, break your arm.
Yeah,
So I've decided to start doing break fall drills during my class. Like they're gonna hate it, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I do it too. I don't do the kind of cartwheel one where they do like it's like a half somersault and half cartwheel, and you land on your side for the break fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that one because the kid, some of the adults just bust their ass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'll do like the side squat one where you hit the side, and
Yeah.
then regular break fall.
Yeah.
Like these two are good enough. You understand, fall on your thigh, don't fall on your shoulder, don't fall on your hip. Try to
Right.
take position first.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's important.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's important. A lot of gyms too, they don't even practice wrestling or any kind of takedowns.
Hmm.
And that was my biggest thing. I come from my teacher, my original teacher was a judo black belt. He was on the Iranian national judo team for 6 years. And he didn't teach us a lot of judo because when he taught judo, he would just kick it up to like a 50 and nobody could hang.
Hmm.
So he was just like, I'll just stick with jujitsu. You guys are soft. Like he couldn't comprehend that we're just like normal people too.
Right.
Like we're not Olympic level athletes.
Yeah. So at our gym and my co-host
What gym
Gianna,
is it?
who's I'm sorry,
What gyms? What's the name?
it's Chantilly MMA
All right.
in Chantilly, Virginia. Part of the Big Brothers team under Leo Dalla. Um, so our guys, I think, are a little bit scary to newcomers because it when we start standing, a lot of them will either start doing judo right off the bat, and you'll see like a white or blue belt doing like really high level, beautiful judo,
Yeah.
or they'll start locking up and doing like Mongolian wrestling stuff. And you see
Yeah.
these just huge, like huge 200 plus pound guys just locking up like bears, like trying to throw
Yeah.
each other. And I saw like one of our tryouts, like the look on his face was priceless. He was just like, it was this look of terror.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, dude, you don't have to do that. Like, just enjoy.
Yeah.
And he ended up joining, but I started paying attention to other tryouts, and it was the same thing. Like they just had this look of, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to break it down. Like,
Yeah.
because first of all, it's intimidating as hell just walking into a gym. If you never trained, remember your first day going in, you're like, oh man, looking around, you're like, well, maybe I could take that dude, but nope, not over there, not him, not her. Yeah, you see some big beasts.
So
So I was trying to make people feel super welcome,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
always tell them too, like we start with toe touches. Like we'll get in a wrestling stance and I'll be like, just try to touch a person's toes. So it kind of simulates shooting in for
Mhm.
ankle picks or whatever. And I'll be like, oh, just two hands touch the knee. And then that's the first day. I'm like, you're not rolling, you're not doing anything. You're just gonna get a little cardio and not kill yourself.
Yeah. Um, so I had a story for you, but
Yeah,
oh, okay, I remember what it was. So the first time I met my coach, and this will all link up to what we're talking about. I was actually telling my wife I wanted to do judo again. I was like 36. So she said, I don't know anybody who does judo, but a friend of mine owns an MMA gym. Now, this was a different MMA gym. Like this wasn't the one that we train at now. So she got me a 30-minute, no, she didn't get it for me. She signed me up for a 30-minute free class. So I get there, there are other people there. I look over and I see this really small looking man. We're about the same height, but he was 150 pounds and I was 248.
yeah,
So almost a 100-pound difference. So I didn't read up on the coaching staff there. And long story short, it's my coach, like the guy I still train under.
yeah,
But the first thing in my mind was, what is this little guy doing? And I didn't know anything about him. So they were doing line drills and it was my turn to go up and doing front rolls. He doesn't know anything about me. So I asked him, how do you want me to do this? So he took his time and showed me how to do a front roll. And then he goes, go ahead. So I hadn't done one in close to 10, it was over a decade. So I did a front roll, felt like things pop, got up, looked at him, and he looked at me and just grinned. And I was like, what is he grinning for? Because I feel like I'm being a little bit of a jerk because I'm pretty obvious that it's apparent I knew how to do a front roll. But anyways,
Yeah.
um, I sign up my first class. He puts the timer on after class, after we bow out. He goes, "Hey Tom, want to do some judo?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm like 100 pounds heavier than you." I did not know this gentleman was a judo level, like an Olympic level judoka. He politely tossed me more times than I think I could count. And and I'm pretty sure he put it was like 5 or 6 minutes on the timer. And I figure, all right, 5 or 6 minutes has got to have been passed. I look up and it only been about 2 minutes. So he
Yeah.
goes, "Hey, we're not done yet. Stand up." I was like, what is going on here? So he just starts throwing me, throwing me, throwing me. Again, very politely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, how is this little dude like tossing me like this? I'm almost literally twice his size, or got
Yeah.
100 pounds on.
Almost. Yeah.
Well, long story short, come to find out that the gym owner, who's friends with my wife, told him that I had a black belt in judo. So,
Did you? Or
huh?
were you a black belt in judo? Or
Yeah. Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah. Now there's a story behind that too, but we'll get into that later. But
All right.
um, yeah, so I guess he just wanted to feel me out. But I couldn't even come close to throwing him at all.
Yeah.
The first time I actually pulled off a throw on him was probably last year. So it's like 7 years later. You know, our score is like 1,000 to 1. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like your coach was went a different, like a little, the same path, like a little bit more polite when it came to his judo advantage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, he would just laugh at you and just like foot sweep you.
Yeah.
Like he'd be like, stand up. He's like, and then you stand up. He's like, you sure you want to stand up? I'm like, you just asked me to. He's like, all right, you gotta keep going.
Yeah.
And just he looks at you and laughs and just gives you a foot sweep and not even aggressive. You just you Charlie Brown right to the ground and you just look up and laugh at him. You're like, all right, I'm not trying that again. And then
Yeah.
you go on the ground and it's the same thing. You get smashed.
Yeah. So the the first throw I got on him is actually banned in judo now.
What
Like when
is it?
it was a fireman carry. Like in judo, you
All
can't
right.
grab the legs or the pants anymore. But
Yeah,
uh,
so corny.
yeah, it's silly. Like when I did it, the rules were different. So you could still
Yeah,
grab the pants and the legs and stuff. So yeah, I just yanked on his lapel, and I think the only reason I was able to pull it off because he was thinking judo under current rules,
yeah, yeah,
and I was thinking judo under the old set.
yeah.
So I just pulled his lapel, yanked him, dropped, got his leg, dumped him over, and he laughed, got up, hugged me, and then proceeded to throw me over and over again.
Yeah, yeah, he probably hit you with all old moves, right? Oh, you want to
Yeah.
go old school illegal?
Yeah, he did it was a judo clinic on me, I think. Like he just like went down the line. Like it
The
was
whole
great.
alphabet.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So what's it like running a gym? Because I only have experience running a class.
Yeah. So my gym is different too because I'm in the middle of nowhere. So it's a tiny gym.
Uh, okay.
So let me tell the whole story about this one because it goes perfect with the booze and BJJ podcast.
Sure, go
All
ahead.
right. So one night, me and my wife are drinking this Saturday night. She goes to sleep and I'm drinking, I'm getting a little silly. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to open up a gym. So I literally go online, take out a loan, and I go to sleep. Next day, I'm like, oh shit, I took out a loan to open up a gym. And then Monday morning, my wife is like, where'd you get all this money from? Why is it in the bank? And I'm like, yeah, we're opening a gym. So that week, I'm like, all right, I got this money. I got to open up this gym quick before I do something stupid and spend it. So I found a spot in Franklin where I live. I'm in northern New Jersey, and it's just like mountains, really pretty, but not many people.
Right.
So I found a gym in this town, Franklin, and it's a little town. It's right on the highway, but the highway is only 2 lanes. It's one of those highways. But
Hmm.
there's like a Walmart there. There's ShopRite, like grocery stores. It's like all the fast food places. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So I rent out this space. It's upstairs, really small. It's like 20 feet by 36 feet. So it was like enough for a small class, the space. And it was a struggle getting people because one, I'm upstairs in the middle of nowhere. And then two, there's only 4,000 people in the town. And there's towns around it, but they all have like 4,000 as well. So I had to, every marketing I did was wrong. You know, I spent like $8,000 trying to get people to join. And I had like the first month, I had like 6 people. And then slowly it got up to like 12. And I'm like, oh man, I'm doing better. And now I'm at 46. It's not too bad, but not good. Not where I'm making money, but um the main struggle when you have a gym is getting people in the door.
Hmm.
So you have to be aggressive. Like if you get a lead, you have to call them up. I joined a marketing team, Tribe they're called, with Paul Hame in Texas,
Hmm.
and they're awesome. Like they give you the best advice and they get after it. They get on your ass if you don't do anything. And I learned that if you're in a small town and you have a gym, you have to be super active in the community. Get on like every Facebook page you could find. Local homeschool pages are awesome.
Hmm.
Go to all stores and talk to people, get cool with people. You have to go old school because the regular social media, the way they do today, is
Hmm.
not going to work in the boonies.
Hmm.
So you have to get on it and find other ways to get people in the door. You're going to be closing them quicker than you open them. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you guys? You have a big gym there?
So we have a kids program, so we have kids classes, like 4 to 8. We have big kids classes, which is 9 to like 12.
Yeah.
And then the kids who are like 14, between 14 and 16, depending on their skill level and their athleticism, we may let them train with the adults or we might keep them in the kids classes. It's just dependent. Um, we also have Muay Thai, like a Muay Thai program, and we do gi and no gi jiu-jitsu throughout the week. We're doing pretty good from what I understand.
Nice.
Um, the the core of our gym are the Mongolian community that live in Northern Virginia. Um, what's helped us is that our head coach is very tight with that community.
Yeah.
So it's easy-ish to get people in the door. The our reputation has brought other folks into the door. Because at local competitions we do pretty good.
Yeah. If you
So
could take off the feet right away.
yeah, yeah. And we're generally just a lot of the folks that train in our gym are very community oriented. So, we'll go up, we'll talk to people, we networking without networking, so to speak. Like we're
Yeah,
just
yeah. Just
net
organic.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're just naturally a friendly group. And yeah, like I took a team to ADCC up at Atlantic City. Well,
All right. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna compete in that, and my knee was acting up.
oh, really?
Yeah, I had to pull out. It sucked because if I'm like I can't roll without the hinge knee brace, and I'm like I can't compete with it. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I've got bad knees from breakdancing in my 20s, so
Oh, nice.
yeah, I know all about knee pain, knee injuries, and
Oh, sucks. Yeah.
knee braces. Yeah, it's terrible. But yeah, went up to ADCC, made a bunch of friends up there. Um, there's just it's an interesting, it's unique. I'll put it to you that way because I think it's one of the few gyms in the area where you could get not just jujitsu, but Mongolian wrestling just from the sheer fact that everybody there does it.
Yeah, yeah. And plus, there's none around. That's something special. People don't
Yeah,
know about it really. And they don't know how badass Mongolians are. you know,
yeah, yeah.
Dude, have you seen the president of Mongolia?
Yes, he's
He's
jacked.
yoked.
Yeah,
Yeah, like we look at our presidents, they're all fat or skinny, and you see Putin, they're like, oh, he's a badass. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
Putin would get wrecked by the Mongolian president.
yeah. And actually, my coach and a couple of the guys that train at our gym actually have pictures with the Mongolian president. I can't
For
remember his
real?
name, but yeah,
I,
but they all
yeah.
know him.
Oh shit,
Yeah, they all
nice.
know each other.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, and I also think that he also is did judo a lot.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He was like a super high level, like
Y-
Olympian or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could tear Putin in half.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah. Putin has like amateur jiu-jitsu. He'll kill you if you don't let him beep on him. Right?
yeah. So, yeah, just all that combined, it was just a plus. Like, honestly, if my coach was just a really good, grappler, if, community aside, um, uh, Olympics aside, I would still train with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Vibe is everything. Like my gym too. Like I've had people that are dicks, and I kick them out. Man, I don't even play. I don't want no cancers in the gym.
Yeah.
That's our time where we go. We have fun. We train hard. We leave our problems at the door. And if someone's bringing a problem in, no, that's not cool. They gotta
Yeah.
go.
Um, Before we opened up the our current gym when we were training in Arlington, um, one of my most embarrassing moments happened. There's
Yeah,
this younger guy who he wasn't really training for technique. He was just trying to like overpower and wrestle people, if that
yeah,
makes sense. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I was trying to help him, like give him pointers. It's like, throttle your strength advantage back, just drill, focus on more technique. Just find one thing and practice it. Don't worry about losing, don't worry about other people getting the advantage of you. Just if you get submitted, tap, restart.
Yeah.
And he thought I was talking down to him. So it was the middle of class, he got up and started yelling at me.
Oh no.
So unfortunately, I just had a lapse and I yelled back at him and I was just like, dude, I'm just trying to help you. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh crap, I shouldn't have been doing this. I look over at my coach and he's just looking at me with this blank stare. I'm like, oh crap.
You should be like, you get them. Right?
Yeah. Well, he likes to help people. Like he's coaching aside, like he truly just wants to help people.
Yeah.
So after class, he goes, "Why'd you do that?"
Dude, sometimes you have to, man. You have to toss them around.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes there's knuckleheads and you have to handle them.
Yeah. I had to do it to a kid. Dude, he was like 12, and he was giving a bad attitude, and he started cursing at his mom in front of me.
Uh,
And he started cursing at me because he was mad because I made him do burpees, you
yeah,
know. And I'm like, yo, you can't talk like that. I'm like, you're cursing. My kids are 16 and 17. That never heard them curse.
right.
I'm like, one thing I don't play. So, he was like, literally, he went, fuck you, old man. I'm like, oh, all right. So I go to the kid's mom. I'm like, yo, I'm like, he needs an ass whooping. I go, do you mind if I just give him a little beat down in jujitsu? I'm not going to hurt him,
Hmm.
but I'm going to make him know that, you can't disrespect people. And she was like, oh, go for it. And I'm like,
Hmm.
all right, cool. I just put it on him. And I'm like, after class, I put him in the corner. I'm like, look, see how you're standing in the corner after you got beat up? I'm like, how do you feel? And like, he's crying and everything. I'm like, dude, you got to respect people. You can't curse people out. I go, there's consequences. And
Hmm.
you just learned about it the hard way. I don't want to ever have to do this to you again, but respect your parents, respect your mother. I mean, she gave birth to you. She takes care of you. You
Hmm.
can't sit here and curse at her. Don't you dare curse at me. I'm a grown man. Like you got to learn. It's better to learn here than learn in the street,
Yeah.
or learn by police or something like that. Yeah.
So we kind of had a similar incident, and it was with This was with one of the older boys. He was probably about 14, 15 years old.
Yeah,
And he came in with a bad attitude. I checked him like before we bowed in. I was like, whatever happened, don't bring it here. Just calm down,
yeah,
relax. If you need to sit off for 5 minutes and then directly, collect yourself and come back, that's fine. Do what you need to do. Go through the class. He was okay. He had a moment or two here and there. But after class, he said something nasty to his mom.
yeah,
And before I could get to him, one of the other dads checked him.
yeah. Oh,
Now,
it's even worse than, you know.
yeah. So I thought at first it was his dad, right?
Yeah,
Because at this point, I don't know
right.
everybody. Like everyone else knows everyone.
Yeah,
That whole community, everybody knows each other. But I was still not sure who was who.
yeah, yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, his dad handled it. Cool. So the mom left. The guy comes over, he goes, oh, I don't know whose son that is, but next time, pop him in the back of the head. And I was like, what? That wasn't your kid? Oh my God. But
uh,
the next class he came in and he apologized to me. So I had about that same chat with him. I was like, you can't do that, dude. You
yeah,
know, you do that too many times and you won't be coming here.
yeah. Or worse, you get your ass beat. Like you get too used to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that just doesn't fly.
Yeah.
So, so would you say that your gym, do you guys compete a lot?
I only have a couple guys that compete,
Hmm.
but they're really good. They travel. My one student just competed in Amsterdam.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's a blue belt, and he tapped a brown belt in the first match, and then he lost to one of those Chechnyan guys, black belt. But my student did good against him, and he did good. And then at the very end, he got tapped by the guy. Finally passed and mounted him in an arm triangle.
right.
But he did good. He won Vegas Naga. He tapped like two black belts and a brown belt at blue belt.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And then I have two other guys that compete. One's a purple belt.
Hmm.
He's been winning everything, the past year. And one guy, he just got his blue belt. He just turned 18. Kid is 6'6", 230. He could invert. He's crazy. He's going to be killing people. I told him, like, dude, I want you at 265 yoked. I'm like, just start lifting heavy. He's gonna murder everyone.
Dude, when I was heavier and I had to do was it ultra heavyweight? That's basically
Yeah,
the
yeah,
unlimited weight class.
yeah.
I was always the smallest and oldest guy between white and I think white in the middle of my blue belt when I dropped 40 pounds.
All
But
right.
there was this one dude who always showed up and I think he was like 6'7",
Oh no. Yeah.
but he didn't look too bulky, which was a little bit weird, but he was like almost 300 pounds.
Oh yeah.
And
Hell no.
so somebody took a picture of me and him locking up at the beginning of our one match, and it looked like a full-grown man fighting a child. I was just like, what am I
Were
supposed
you
to
able to
do?
film?
No, 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 no. For him, my strategy was just go for his legs, like get real low and shoot for his legs.
Yeah.
But I don't exactly know what the takedown's called, but you get real low, you shoot for the leg, and you drive your shoulder into their shin, and
No
that just
single.
put
Yeah.
yeah, a low single.
Yeah.
And he just grabbed my belt and lifted me off the ground.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just
300
like,
pounds. Yeah.
well, this isn't gonna work. But yeah, it was a fun match, and he was a very nice guy. But um, yeah, I really just wish I knew how to contact him because I'd like another try at taking him down like during a match. It's just like
Nice. Yeah.
just come over, just like a 2 minute little match between me and you. Nobody will know about it.
Yeah.
Takedowns only.
Yeah. 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 There's like back in the day when you compete, like I was the same. I would go under 222. because anything above it was 222 and up.
Right.
So I, excuse me, right at that 222 mark, right below. So I'm like, I'm not going against those ultra heavyweights because some of those guys are monsters.
Hmm.
But then it would be like the same people all the time. Every time I compete, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like we all knew each other, you
Hmm.
know. And I'm like, at this point, I feel like it's just open mat, unless you go to like a huge competition, but then they get costly.
Yeah. Um, okay, this is an awkward question, and
Go
it
for it.
might it leads into another story.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever compete against somebody who you thought was doing like something extra, like trend?
Oh, Trent. Yeah, a couple times that I don't give a shit. I'm like, whatever,
Yeah.
arm drag to the back, they
Yeah.
get rid of it. But I've gone against some guys who are like, oh my God, I'm like, they're ungodly strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. My
So,
student too, the one guy, the black belt he went against, he's like, I've never felt anyone. He's like, he was stronger than the Samoan guy. He went against the Samoan black belt in Cali.
oh wow.
He's like, that guy wasn't even as strong as this little 55-pound Chechnyan dude. So yeah, it's one of those things in jujitsu.
Yeah. The reason why I ask is there was a you know, the ultra heavyweight group was the same way. Like
Yeah,
is same 8 to 10 guys for years.
yeah.
And right around the middle of my blue belt years, one dude showed up and ruined the whole thing. And we are all pretty sure that he was juicing
Oh yeah, of
because
course.
we are all a bunch of strong guys.
Yeah.
And he manhandled us like we were toddlers.
What's his
And
name?
I'll send it to you. I don't want to.
I know who it is. He a bald guy?
No, he's about my complexion, 6'2".
Oh,
He's
he's
from
not bald.
no, he's from down
All
here.
right,
He's from Maryland.
all right. Because I know some guy bald and he's fucking yoking people up too, and
Yeah.
he's yoked.
Yeah, he ended up injuring like about 3 or 4 people
Damn.
that in that competition. Like he did gi, no gi, he did gi absolute, no gi and no gi absolute, and they did the no gi and no gi absolute first. And
Yeah,
none of us would do no gi at the time. Like we were strictly just the gi group.
yeah,
We kept seeing like medics come in. We're like, oh man, what the heck? And then right before I stepped on the mat with him, one of my teammates runs over and goes, "Hey, be careful. He injured like a bunch of guys over there." I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, whatever. This will be easy." I was wrong. I was so wrong.
What do you do, Guna Komura?
No, he literally just grabbed me, dragged me to the mat, past my guard, and he did a bow and arrow choke, but he somehow did it wrong and he
Yeah.
twisted my lumbar spine. And
Oh,
yeah, luckily he didn't injure it too bad, but it
yeah.
it took about a year to heal.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What do you
So
do? Knee in the back or something? Or knee? I don't even know how. Did he put the knee in the back when he did it instead of throwing the leg over the shoulder?
that may have been it, but all I know is he had my lapel here and
Yeah,
this my upper body went down
yeah,
and my lower half of the body went the opposite direction
yeah.
very quickly. So
Oh, that sucks.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I did an instruction on how to do bow and arrow the right way because
mhm.
90% of the people that do bow and arrow do it wrong, you know?
Oh really?
Yeah, so a good technique is so you're gonna fold with your one hand and pass it over.
Hmm.
Right away, you gotta pick your elbow up and clamp your elbow behind their shoulder. So you just your wrist is over their shoulder and the forearm is in the back. Like that rear naked choke grip that you have from the back
Right.
where you yeah, so if you grip there, they can't bring the arm over the head to escape. And
Oh.
you could go for it. I have a video, I'll send you it. I posted it on YouTube.
Yeah, send me a link.
Yeah,
Because I
because the defense is you pull the tricep with both hands and pull the arm over the head to escape.
right.
And you clamp it back behind the shoulder. So your arm is like this behind, as you're grabbing the lapel, your arm is like this way behind the shoulder. They can't pull all the way over. So,
Gotcha.
wait,
Actually.
yeah, it's like if you get that grip done, it's a wrap. They're not getting out. I don't care how strong they are. Even
Yeah.
Mongolian strength, they're not pulling that off.
I might actually go to an open mat tomorrow. I might try that because I'm pretty sure I know the grip that you're talking about because I
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just like when you grab it, just go like this way. You
right.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that.
Same thing with the back too. When you get the back, you
Yeah,
stab here and you bring your shoulder, your forearm behind their shoulder, and your
yeah,
head in close. Dude, it's so different, so much stronger, and your fist is right here, so you're halfway through the choke already. Anyway,
right.
just
Yeah.
those little techniques that make your jujitsu so much better.
Yeah, and I as I've started teaching, I've noticed like there's little details that I don't realize.
Yeah.
And I'll watch everybody do the technique I just showed, and I'll see everyone doing this little thing. And I'm like, where did you learn that from? And they're like, watching you do it. I'm like, I do that? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Yeah, and I know that my coach, sometimes he won't point out everything. And
yeah,
it's some I figure it's because some motions are just so natural, like people just forget to point them out.
yeah.
So I'd ask him, "Hey, did you mean to leave out that one little detail?" He's like, "Oh, no, everybody does that, don't they?" I'm like,
Yeah, it happens all the time. It happens
yeah,
to me, coaches. Yeah. What and one other thing too is like when you're teaching, especially kids, you can't Danaher kids. You got to teach one, two, three. That's it. Three steps, no more. And let them figure out the rest. Kids learn quick and they figure it out. If you
yeah,
Danaher them, they're just looking around. They start getting all hyper and everything. So that's like one of the main things you teach in the beginning. You learn is how to teach kids because it's different from adults.
oh yeah. I So I help teach like I said, I help teach the kids in big kids classes. And
Yeah,
with the little kids, I learned that really quickly. Like I was trying to do like some eloquent speech about like, scissor sweeps. And then I
yeah,
looked around and they're looking outside, looking at each other,
yeah, yeah,
picking at each other. I'm like, all right, this
yeah.
isn't gonna work. I gotta keep it
Yeah, no,
shorter.
you gotta be like close your guard, grab collar sleeve, strip out, knee up, pull
Yep.
sweep. That's it. You
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, kids go crazy. I got a 3 to 5 year old class,
Oh
and
man.
those kids are super cute. But oh, dude, you have to change every 2 minutes. Just keep changing, because they're kids. They have no attention span, and parents got to understand too. I always tell them, like, dude, just trust the process,
Hmm.
and your whole job as a parent. I don't want you coaching. I don't want anything. I want you just to bring them there. I'm like, make sure they get used to a routine and know that they can't just quit in life, because
Yeah.
that's got to carry on to the rest of their life. And it happens all the time. The parents quit everything they've ever done. They've never had a dream. They're just working some job. I'm
Yeah.
like, don't do that to your kid. you know,
Yeah. So that's actually one of the reasons why I was happy with my dad bringing my nephew to me on Fridays because he's never
yeah,
done a sport before.
yeah,
He's never done anything effectively outside of playing video games. And um, when he came in, that didn't click to me that he'd be like just physically unacclimated, so to speak.
yeah,
Like he didn't know how to run. I didn't think that was possible. I mean, like he ran, but
yeah,
he wouldn't move his arms.
yeah,
And when we would do, I showed a technique where you have to grip the tricep or, get a collar tie, and he wouldn't use his hands like to grip. Like he
yeah,
would put his hands where they were supposed to be, but he wouldn't actually grip.
yeah,
And I paid attention to him and I noticed, oh my gosh, he doesn't know how to be physical. And that's really what it was.
yeah,
So my dad has been bringing him consistently, every Friday since then, so he could take my class. And I am happy for him just to be there and moving. You know,
yeah,
I I told him, don't worry about getting the techniques perfect. Just try them.
yeah,
And it hasn't even come across his mind to quit since. Like, in fact,
yeah,
he wants to come early every Friday now. And I'm
yeah.
really happy with that.
Dude, they have to. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to have some kind of physical activity, especially like boys.
Hmm.
We're still animals. Nobody wants to admit it still, but we still have animal instinct. We're predators by nature.
Yeah.
We need to do some manly stuff. And women, they're even more aggressive. Like you get the girls in class, they're killers.
Hmm.
they destroy the boys because they're just naturally aggressive, and it's good for people. Get it out of your system, learn to defend yourself, and be in tough situations, and learn goals. There's so many benefits, but it's up to the parents. Like, take your kids to the gym and consistently take them. Don't say, oh, it's okay to take off,
Yeah.
any reason. That's the biggest issue in my gym. The adults are like that too. And I always tell them, I'm like, dude, you need some discipline. I was like, at the beginning, when I first opened the gym, I had a couple people that would train regularly, and the rest it was once every 9 days. I'm like, what are you going to get from what? I've never even seen this in my life. I'm like, once every 9 days, do you think you're going to get good? I'm like, all you do is just stay rusty. That's
Yeah.
it. You're never going to get anywhere. I'm like, just give 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and your life will change. You're going to get in better shape, your confidence, just, the way you walk, you got to have some abs,
Yeah.
like at least some kind of muscles that make your posture different. You
Yeah.
know,
Speaking of abs,
yeah,
so I had a rather big belly when I started,
yeah,
and it was right before COVID. I went to class and I had a rash guard on, but it was new and it didn't feel comfortable.
yeah,
So in the middle of class, I excused myself. I took it off, came back, and my co-host Yana, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us today, she
yeah.
goes, "Oh my God, you have abs!" I was like, "Who is
No,
she talking about?" And
yeah,
and one of the other younger ladies walks over and starts poking my stomach. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "You have abs." I was like, "I do." I started looking down and I was like, I guess I do now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Jujitsu is all core.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was funny for me because I'd never experienced that before.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's crazy, like how much core we do. Like when people don't work out, and you give them a trial class, they're dying after. They're like, "Oh, my legs are sore." And I like to do a lot of good pre-workout. Like before we roll,
Yeah.
because I don't want people getting injured. So we'll do squats and we'll do core and everything because I want people being strong.
Hmm.
Because some people they don't work out at all outside of the gym.
Right.
So this is their only workout. And I'm like, I'm trying to keep you healthy. I'm trying to keep you on the mats. So we do a bunch of knees over toes stuff and core work. And, some people are like, why do when they don't train with me, like they're from different gym, like,
Hmm.
damn, you do a lot of work. We're all sweaty after. I mean, before you even start, I'm like, yes, but nobody's getting hurt.
Right.
That's amazing.
Um, some people don't like doing the warm-ups at the beginning of class,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
our coach does them and I do them, for that same reason, like to make
yeah,
you just a little bit stronger,
yeah,
you know. And since I've started teaching, I haven't been able to do the warm-ups as much as everybody else.
yeah.
And I started to feel it a little bit, you know.
Right.
I work out outside of the gym, for health reasons, but
Yeah,
that it's not the same. Sitting there
yeah.
and lifting weights and running on a treadmill is not the same as
No, it's
doing,
boring as hell.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
definitely just not the equivalent, but yeah.
No, I'm like, I hate lifting weights. I I need to do it more,
Hmm.
but I freaking hate it. I got a little gym in my back now,
Yeah.
and I have a Smith machine and a squat rack. And then I'm like, I don't even use it right now. Well, first, I don't have the weights. I only have this Olympic sized bars that came with it.
Hmm.
And I only have like the cheap weights,
Right.
the regular standard ones.
Hmm.
So I just stick to body weight push ups and pull ups and then jujitsu. You know,
Yeah.
that combination will get you strong.
Um, I actually cut back on the amount of weightlifting I did. So when I
Yeah.
first started, I would do like 3 days a week,
Yeah.
but I couldn't I couldn't see a performance difference between 1 day a week and 3 days a week when it came to weights.
Yeah.
So I just cut it back, and I also found I could move a lot better, just by cutting those 2 days out.
Yeah.
So
you could do 1 day kettlebell and you're good. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
kettlebell's fantastic, especially for jujitsu because the motion you're using all hips and everything.
Hmm.
And I think that's probably the best, kettlebells. And I just like pull ups.
Hmm.
That's my go to. Because it's easy. Just pull up and that's it. I'm
Yep.
not doing some crazy cardio workout and flexibility.
Yeah. I think for a while I was doing just pull-ups and dips.
I
And
can't.
that
My shoulders are so bad.
oh really?
My AC joints. Yeah, just
Yeah.
from I got omoplata. I mean, I went to omoplata one guy, and he was a big dude. He's like
Hmm.
300 pounds.
Yeah.
I got him belly down. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get him. He literally picked me up
Hmm.
and just dropped me, and I just fell right on my shoulder. I just slid right down and fell directly on the AC joint,
Oh
and
man.
ever since it's never been the same. I didn't break it or anything. It just friggin' always hurts. I can't do dips.
Right.
The one guy, my PT was saying that it was the bone and bone
Hmm.
is rubbing, and that's why it keeps clicking and everything is capsulated or something. I don't
Oh
know what it
man.
was, but yeah, it always hurts.
Hey, what's your worst injury so far though?
Oh, the ACL MCL tear.
Oh
That thing took. I'm 2 years out and it still hasn't healed right.
man.
It's such a long process. Like when you're older, especially when you're younger, you bounce back really quick.
Right.
But I've had when they did the surgery, they gave me stem cells from
Hmm.
the hip one, the BPAP, and then I did my PT. But I own a gym, so obviously I can't be out too long. So
Right.
pretty much right away, I'm already showing technique. Like once I could bend my knee a little bit and then lightly rolling, and I just never gave it the time to heal.
Right. Man.
So I'm still suffering from that. How about you?
The lumbar injury from that bow and
Oh,
arrow.
yeah,
Yeah. There wasn't really too much they could do for it. But it took about a year and a half, over a year and a half, 2 years to heal over.
damn. Yeah,
Yeah.
spine is scary. Neck and spine.
Yeah, very scary. When it happened, I actually thought he broke my back. Like
Damn.
the sound that came out of it, like I was convinced
Yeah.
he broke my spine. But
Fuck.
yeah, I didn't even think about it. And the at the time, what happened after I tapped, it was too late. Like the
Yeah.
damage was done, and the ref like helped me up, and I was like, fuck, I just broke my spine. The ref helped me up, and I didn't think about it until he raised the other guy's hand. I was like, oh, I'm standing. Like the
Yeah.
damage can't be that bad,
But it
and
could be. Yeah.
but it could be. Yeah, I was like, and I was just um, I had like more matches. I did one. And then after that, I was like, yeah, I told the staff at Grappling Industries like I can't do the other ones. Like
Yeah.
I'm done. And
Dude, yeah.
so go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's the problem is when adrenaline's flowing, you can't tell how bad the injury is. Because when I tore my knee too, I knew something was wrong. I felt it freaking hurt. And I'm like, all right, I'll keep rolling. And then afterwards, once the adrenaline goes down, then I'm like, oh no.
Mhm.
And then walking around, for like 2 months, I didn't get the surgery or three, something like that. And right after we went to Disney for vacation,
Mhm.
right after it happened. So I'm walking around Disney forever. My wife is like, dude, you're such a sissy. God damn. Because I'm complaining. I'm like, dude, my knee hurts. I'm dying. And she thought it was just like a little injury. And
Right.
then when I got the MRI and you're like, oh, it's your ACL and MCL. Then she's like, oh, I thought you were just being a pussy. It's like, no, it freaking hurts. So I'm like, we're walking around like 10 hours around Disney, on a torn
Mhm.
ACL and MCL. My knee's all swollen, and I'm like, it's rough.
Yeah.
But I think the injury that hurt the most was I had a partial tear in my oblique. So when
Yeah.
I first started, I was dumb. Obviously we don't know how to move, right?
Mhm.
So one guy goes to armbar me, and I thought, oh, I could twist the opposite way and just rip my arm out, and that's gonna work.
Mhm.
Completely dumb, as a white belt, and I
Mhm.
tore my oblique, and it took me like half an hour to get out of bed.
Mhm.
And when I went to the doctor, they thought it was a gallbladder, until they did like MRI, CAT scan, they did everything because it was right where your gallbladder is. And
Right.
doctor touched me, I just screamed. It was like the worst pain ever. And then they tested it, and then they're like, dude, it's just like a partial tear, but that pain was unbearable.
So,
Like,
funny story for you.
yeah.
That's actually my most painful
Oh,
injury.
figure, yeah.
Um, my other co-host Wale, when when I just started, basically,
Yeah, yeah.
um, I caught him with a triangle choke, and he figured that it would be a good idea to do a forward roll to get out of it. And
Oh, you
I felt
compressed.
something pop,
Yeah.
and I thought it was a rib, but it was my oblique.
Oh my God. It's terrible, right?
It sucked.
Yeah, yeah. This little shit muscle, it just
Hmm.
hurts so bad. How bad
Yeah.
was it getting out of bed in the morning?
It took me a while. Um, my older son started slapping me, so I got up rather quickly, but it was so painful.
Oh my
Uh,
God. Yeah, like you
yeah,
never know how bad that one is.
yeah. It's always like the muscles that you don't really think of
Yeah,
that really just kick you in the, excuse the expression, kick you in the nuts.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. Oh, you don't have to. I'm from Jersey.
no, well, you know, down here in Virginia,
Yeah,
especially Northern Virginia, I have to watch what I say.
for
So
real. Oh, people are crazy like that.
I, dude, there's parents who would avoid me because I'd wear like, sweats with our gym's logo on it. Oh,
uh,
you must be violent. Like,
little do they know we're like the most chill people.
yeah, it's like I don't want to hurt you. Like
Yeah,
if you try to hurt me, I'm just gonna walk away. Like I know you can't hurt me,
yeah.
you know.
I'm
Like
not gonna
it,
lie. I'll talk a little trash. When it
yeah,
comes to the in the car. When people talk shit to me,
yeah.
I edge them on.
I I used to,
Yeah,
and then this was before I did jujitsu.
yeah,
I still remembered enough about judo that I figured I could defend myself pretty well.
yeah,
And this one parent just it was a dad. It was a dad at one of my older son's daycare when he was like itty bitty.
yeah.
And he just would not shut up. Like he was telling me he would do this, that, and the other to me, and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like,
What? Like just randomly, like talking about how tough he was, or
yeah, he was in a bad mood. He came to the daycare while I was there to get my son. He walked in behind me and he was just in an awful mood.
yeah.
The folks who ran the daycare weren't fast enough and he just went off. And we caught eyes because I just gave him, I was just like, who is
Yeah,
kicking that
yeah.
racket? And he saw that I looked at him and he just went off. He's like, I can do this, that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, in my head, I was just like, dude, you're 5'1", maybe 100 pounds.
Oh
No,
man, yeah.
just just go away. I didn't say anything to him. I just shook my head, got my boy and left. Got into the car, called my dad. I was like, can you believe this little pipsqueak? Like,
Yeah,
what is his problem? You know,
yeah.
but
Well, I had this guy too when I was driving. It was hilarious. So I'm in the left lane, and it was he tried to cut me off from the right before it ended. And
mhm,
I'm like, I have nowhere to go. I'm like, I'm going straight, So he wanted to cut me off on the right side, and then the shoulder in the road like started getting tight where it's a curb.
right.
And I can't move, guy. I said, you got to go around me at this point. You're already behind me. So he pulls over, and then the next light, he's going to make a right, and he rolls down the window, and I'm like, let me just see what he wants. And he rolls. I roll down the window. I'm like, oh, what's up? And he's like, man, you're so lucky. I don't kick your ass. And I look at him, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, you don't know anyone who could kick my ass. Let's get this straight. I'm like, look at my car on the side. I like big enforcer logo. It just says like MMA, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. I'm like, how do you think this is gonna work out if you really try? I'm like, just
Mhm.
watch what you say to people. I'm like, so I might kick your ass one day, I'm like, these people are nuts on the road.
It's always interesting to me how folks who really don't have any type of fighting experience or even experience in combat sports,
Yeah,
seem to be, it seems so easy for them to say stuff like that.
yeah.
I'll kick your ass, or I'll stomp your shit in. It's like, do
You
you
will?
do you actually know how to do that?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I don't think you do.
Yeah, it's not like watching they watch UFC, like, I could do that. Like, no, no, you can't.
No,
There's
no,
no
you
way.
can't. Yeah. Ah.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get my daughter. I'm gonna see if she can grab me a beer.
Well, actually, Frank, we usually do just an hour show weekly.
Oh, all right. I didn't know
Yeah.
if we are going on like a Rogan podcast.
Oh, not yet. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, if Yana or Wale were here, we would go longer.
All right, yeah, yeah.
We usually have like a bunch of different things to talk about. And we've actually got a backlog since, we've been on hiatus a little bit.
Yeah.
So, what I'd like to do is we'll end this here at the hour,
All right,
and
yeah.
you're more than welcome to join us next Saturday. And
Good. Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah,
Love it.
I'll send you the topics that we'll discuss. Um, we discuss things that get us shadow banned on YouTube
I'm down.
and borderline banned. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, if there's anything that you don't want to discuss, that's perfectly fine.
Oh
Um,
man, yeah. I
yeah,
have no filter. That's my nickname pretty much, just no filter.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. We get a lot of different we get a good set of perspectives between me, Wale, and Yana. Wale is more how to describe him. I would say he's more of the DC area type,
All right.
so to speak. All three of us are very respectful. Yana is a reservist from the army. She's a drill instructor.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a mom. She's a brown belt in jujitsu. All three of us
awesome.
started with our Coach Sugi, and I'm a military brat who has done a lot of different things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
grew up in Europe. Um,
That's cool.
done a lot of stuff that a lot of people in Northern Virginia don't like.
Oh yeah.
So if you catch my drift,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm from Jersey, man. We've
yeah,
I grew up in this area where it's, not the best. So I've been around the block a couple times.
yeah. So we have pretty good conversation.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you for joining me today. I'll have this posted on YouTube probably tomorrow, and I'll send you the link to it.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, just give a shout out real quick.
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. I just want to give a shout out to my family, all my teammates, Enforcers BJJ, Vitor Shaolin BJJ. Thank you guys always being there for me. And thank you for having me on. This was awesome. If you want to follow me, it's Enforcers BJJ. At, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Check it out. I post a lot of pictures, but I do have techniques, and my techniques, man, they're good. They're not that crap that you see on where, they're just doing flashy moves for props and they're all done wrong. I'm not out making stupid faces doing the video. So I'm showing real stuff. Check it out. And, thanks again. I really appreciate it. It was awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for joining me tonight. And yeah, I'm actually gonna follow your socials too. So
All right, cool.
um,
Yeah. Let me get yours. Yeah.
yeah,
Afterwards, we'll.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'll send everything to you. So yeah, thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope to talk to you next week.
yeah, definitely.
All
All
right.
right.
See y'all later.
All right.
And